Good morning. Happy Saturday. Welcome to episode 404 of the Daily Dose. And this morning I got a bit of a personal one, a truly gratitude post, and share a little bit behind the scenes of why marrying a nurse was one of the absolute best decisions in my entire life. And lo and behold, it's perfect week for it. It's Nurses Week. So when you're coming on here, if you're catching this, regardless of when you catch this, I want to know if you're in the medical field, if you're a nurse, maybe a doctor, or have been working regardless of what level, but especially for my nurses out there, nurse practitioners, RNs, CNAs, nurse assistants, nurse anesthetists, whatever branch, if you will, of nursing you're in. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I know outside of the normal care that you give to people, this year has probably been unprecedented in the amount of nursing, so to speak, that you've done and stepping it up. My wife included as one of them, and I'm going to brag on her a little bit, just kind of sharing with you why marrying a nurse was one of the absolute best decisions. And I would say, fellas, if you're listening, any of you guys out there, if you're single, I know I have mainly an audience of women, but I would say if any of you men are out there, maybe are divorced, looking for, I'm telling you what, find yourself a nurse, find yourself a woman in the medical field. They are amazing. And if anything like mine, they will truly be the gift that will be something that you will cherish the rest of your life. But let's talk about nurses. If you're a nurse, I'm going to say it a few times, if you're a nurse or nurse practitioner, or even a physician, physician's assistant, anything in the medical field, but especially a nurse, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love for you to drop down what kind of nursing that you do now, even more so if you believe what I'm saying. I want you to know this, that it's going to be really, really helpful as we finish off this week in nursing. They need really an entire year, right? But I would say they got the week. And honestly, with my wife's birthday coming up and Mother's Day and our anniversary, all those things coming up this month, very, very soon, sometimes I forget how really fortunate I am to be not just married to a nurse, but an amazing woman, truly has been caring for people, and my family included, for so many years. And it's just in her. And I want to share with you, as I go into that, just about nurses. So also, here's what I'd like. If you're coming on here and you're thinking to yourself, I'm not a nurse or nurse practitioner or RN, but I do know somebody, I would love for you to drop the name of the person, but literally tag them in this. Just drop the name and just celebrate them. Say, I appreciate you, put their name in. I have some students in my coaching program who are nurses, nurse practitioners, and they are amazing individuals, all so unique in their skill set, but truly beyond essential. And I'm going to just share with you a little acronym. I learned this not too long ago, but I would say it's something that can definitely represent as far as with nurses. Like, why are nurses so amazing? And I would say, number one, they're nurturing. This is going into sharing with you with my wife. So I can just say, from somebody who's lived, now my wife's a nurse practitioner. She was an RN right out of high school, went to University of Florida, graduated in nursing, and then went to NYU. That's where I met her, when she was in nursing school. And she was working in, actually, check this out, she was working in pediatric oncology. That's where we started. And I just saw how amazing she was at what she did at an RN level as she was going full-time for school to become a nurse practitioner. And she's had the privilege and honor to work in women's health and family medicine, and now she works specifically in the GI field, gastroenterology, and works in a hospital. But here, number one, nurses are nurturing, right? Nurses are nurturing. I know I got so fortunate, God blessed me with a nurse practitioner, my wife, who is so nurturing. And I would say that is so amazing. So number one for nurses, they are nurturing, number one. Number two, they are understanding. Nurses are so understanding. Think about this. The one thing I've in this next, as nursing wasn't as big of a deal. Now I'm going to celebrate a nurse who's really dear to my heart. And I have to just share this really brief. My great aunt, who I love, I shared a story about her a while back. She was one of the very first nurses that graduated from Columbia way back. Now she's passed away, but check this out. You want to know how amazing nurses are? And again, it's kind of crazy. One of my favorite people in the whole world is is a nurse, and right now, of course, is my wife, who's one of my favorite people in the whole world. But I would say is my great aunt Edith was a nurse, and she worked in a hospital, and she used to work with iron lung patients back in the polio days. And she would have a floor of over 200 patients. And guess what? She was the only nurse on the unit at a time. They didn't have like one nurse for 5 patients. She had 200 children that she was nursing went during polio and having to deal with iron lungs and things. Like, truly an amazing story. I wish somebody could have done a story on her, and maybe I need to do that story because she is amazing. But let's get back into it. But not only are they nurturing, right? They are understanding. They are so understanding. My wife, I can tell you, I think partly why I'm gifted is so many times I've messed up. I've gotten the understanding for my wife. She's truly, truly understanding. Now, number 3, the third thing is resilient. Nurses and nurse practitioners and CNA, they are resilient. If you're listening and you're a nurse, if you're a nurse practitioner, any lines of the nursing field, you are freaking resilient. You work so hard. Yeah, and I hear it. And I know I don't hear nearly half of it, but I know patients, when we're sick, when we're unhealthy, when we're unwell, when we're angry, when we're frustrated, guess what? We take it out a lot of times on, the doctor you might see here and there, and you might share and express your feelings, but who's the one if you're in the hospital? Who's the one there at your bedside taking care of you? Your nurse. Your nurses that are coming into your room to check on you, to check and make sure your numbers, checking your oxygen levels, and making sure that you have everything you need. And I also had the experience of working side by side with nurses when I was in the physical therapy field. When I actually worked in a hospital, I saw nurses hustle like the fourth thing. So they're resilient. Like, they get beat down. And I'll tell you what, if I were to think any of this money that's getting put out to anybody in this world, give it to the nurses. Give it more to the nurses who are hard work and taking care of people. And I'll tell you what, they're not nearly as appreciated as they really should be. So that's my own take. Again, I believe my wife I hope that she believes I appreciate her so much, and our family. I know for my family, I know there's family members who would not be here this day, literally this day, if it wasn't for her help. And I can just tell you that tried and true. Like, it's something she's been not only helping people, nurses save lives. So they are not only resilient, but guess what? The fourth thing is that they're strong. Nurses are strong, like physically strong, mentally strong, emotionally strong, right? They are resilient. They have that strength. My wife, not only is you think about it, she works out and goes to the gym and we were walking on the beach just a few moments ago, and she was saying, yeah, I got to the gym. I asked if you were going to go work out today. She's like, no, I hit it 5 times this week. And I was like, she's strong, like physically strong. And you need to have the physical strength. Like, my wife goes to work early morning, she's out the door, but she gets to the gym at 5:30, gets her workout in, because she knows she has to have the strength through the day, right? It's not easy. Not just when you're dealing with patients who are sick day in and day out, week after week, year after year, people sometimes who are yelling at you, who are looking to get help from you, yet angry and frustrated. And I get it, it's part of the process. But to think of somebody like my wife, who's been doing it for over 25 years, like, she's been doing it for more than half of the amount of time I've been in the fitness space. Now, for me, it's a little bit easier because it's more preventative. I deal with that and caring for people, but I would say in the nursing level, where like you're just like, you need that, you have to have the help. So they are strong, like they are physically strong, emotionally strong. And I want you to know, I want you to right now know, if you have a nurse friend, let's celebrate them. Drop the name and tag somebody in here. If you agree with me, please share this to a friend that's maybe a nurse. Share it on their page. If you agree with me, I want to see the hearts. I want you to blow this up right now and share. Put some love down, put some hearts in there for the nurses. If you have a family member or a friend, maybe you're married to a nurse, I want you to drop their name, and so we can all celebrate that. That's number 4. The fifth thing, and they say that nurses are essential, right? That's what I said in the beginning. Nursing is like something where they are essential. Of course, they're essential. We need nurses in this world. We need more. In fact, I know there's a shortage of nursing right now. If you want to get into a good field, nursing is one of those fields to get into. It's pretty much guaranteed you will get a job somewhere. There's a need for nursing, and I know that. I hear that. So it is not only essential, but I like to think of is the fifth thing is that they are extraordinary. Like, not only have I been fortunate enough to find myself an extraordinary wife, she's an extraordinary nurse. If you ever had any connection with her, whether it be related to medical or not, you would know that if you were to only meet one nurse and meet my wife, nurse practitioner, is you would know she is an extraordinary woman. Now I know others. I've met nurses. I've worked with nurses. I have some students of mine in my coaching program who are nurses and nurse practitioners, and they are truly extraordinary people. They have to take so much weight on their shoulders. So today's message is truly in gratitude. Now, as I say those, that's the definition of nurse. So the N is nurturing. The U is understanding. The R is resilient. The S is strong. And the E is not essential. The E is extraordinary. You nurses are extraordinary. Thank you so much for all that you do, not just in a COVID year. Thank you for all that you do every single day. You wake up, you put your work clothes on. That's more than just a little white nurse's outfit, right? You put your work clothes on and you get to work. And I just wanted to say from me to you, from my family to yours, thank you so much. Even my wife, who's a nurse, who's been around nurses and nurse practitioners, has helped our families. She thanks you as well. But we thank you from our family to yours, and thank you so much for you do. Just want you to know that I truly am grateful for all the help you do from my family members, friends, people that I know who rely on you. Thank you so much. Anyway, take care. And hey, last thing, if this resonated with you, if you're a nurse, I want you to just enjoy this message. If you know somebody, please just drop it down. There's nothing really fitness related today, just truly a gratitude for the nurses. And I say why marrying a nurse was one of the absolute best decisions of my life. Now, Nicole's pretty amazing as it is outside of marrying a nurse, but I got the bonus of having a nurse. Now, it's kind of funny because I have to say this is when I told her, I said, you know what? I was like, you kind of are tough on me at times when I don't really, but she hasn't had to nurse me because I've been able to take care of myself. Fortunately, I'm sure that'll change as I get older. And I think I'm probably invested pretty well in who I'm choosing to spend the rest of my life with the nurse. I was like, honey, you got to make sure that I get older before you do so you can take care of me and nurse me. But anyway, that's all I have. Take care. Have it amazing. I know it's Mother's Day weekend. Tomorrow we'll be sharing a special message about Mother's Day. And it's something that I know a lot of people is emotional on Mother's Day. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. Take care and have a blessed Saturday. We'll see you soon.